Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Whiteville, North Carolina, visiting Vann Underwood Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, and I'm checking out a 2021 Ram 1500 Bighorn 4-wheel drive in the quad cab configuration. This truck is sitting on 275/65 Goodyear Wrangler tires, wrapped around 18-inch alloy wheels with a silver gloss finish. It also has 4-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors on all 4 wheels. The name of this color is Delmonico Red Pearl Coat. And the sun is shining now, so we can hopefully get an idea of what the color looks like here. It's a really impressive color. When you really get close to it, you can see has a metal flake, and that pearl coat is more apparent when you're closer. So here in the front, you can see there's a lot of chrome, and just all the way around, and there's something special about this chrome. I'll mention that in just a minute. I just found this out. But so right in here, you can see these. You see the Ram emblem, and then you have the flat black grille. But beyond this outer portion here, back in here is active grille shutters. And this will close as you're going fast on the highway when the cooling is not needed to add to the aerodynamics of the vehicle. So it doesn't have a lot of turbulent air going into the engine compartment when it's not needed, so the air can flow around the vehicle. Now you can see 2 recovery hooks protruding here through the bumper. They're easier to get to than, say, under the vehicle. So that's handy, especially with a 4-wheel drive vehicle if you're going off-roading. Now all the exterior lights here on the front are powered by halogen bulbs. So they're reflector halogen headlights, low and high beams, and fog lights. So here's one of my magnets that I sell, link in the description, along with stickers and stuff. And this magnet, of course, sticks to metal, right? So on the hood is actually aluminum, so it's not gonna stick to the hood. It's not sticking there. But what I found out today, playing around, is that I've always thought that this grille and the emblems and different things around the vehicle that are chrome are plastic. Now they are plastic, but there's enough metal in them to where they do a magnet will attract to it. So you can see the hood is aluminum, but you can see that, at least on the very surface, has enough metal, enough iron in it in order to attract a magnet. Same thing with the emblems. The center caps on the wheels, the side emblems, all the chrome here, see here on the side, is also, even the emblems, they have enough iron in them to attract a magnet. So there's not just straight up just a plastic deal. So they have some durability with that surface coating apparently. So looking at the profile, you can see since this is a quad cab configuration instead of the crew cab, you can see this door is significantly smaller. So if you need more passengers in the back, if you're using this for a lot of passengers in the back regularly, besides just small children, you probably want to upgrade to the crew cab, or maybe a super crew, something like that. This is definitely usable, but it is a little bit cramped in the back seat for, you know, adults, especially large adults. So we can see that there is, you know, the bottom part of the vehicle, it's all painted here, so there's no protection as far as debris. Now there is some a little mud flap there, and a little tiny one there on the front, but there's no, you know, plastic protection like some vehicles have. Now the side mirror is black, so it's not body colored, and the pillar here is a flat black. It's a matte black here, so it doesn't really, you know, solidify the glass that well. Even if you were to tint the front glass, it still kind of stands out as a, you know, just a a different color plastic. If that was a gloss black, or if it was just a, you know, deeper black instead of kind of like a desaturated black, it would look a little bit better, I think. But overall, the chrome is accented with these wheels, so the silver kind of blends in with the chrome a little bit better than another color, say. And it does have the body colored handles. This is what the key looks like, and it's a partial proximity key. So it is a proximity key, but it doesn't have the full functionality as some proximity key systems have. It does have the lock and unlock button and the panic button here. Let's go ahead and push that panic button so we can hear the horn sound. Nice strong horn, as you would expect with a vehicle like this. There's a physical key on the inside as well in case you need it. But you do have to take this out of your pocket. It's not one of those type of keys that you can just leave in your pocket. You do have to take it out. So to unlock the doors, you would have to push the unlock button. So just having this with you, you will have to take it out of your pocket, push the unlock button, because there's no sensors here on the handle. There's no sensors or anything like that. So once you unlock the vehicle, you gain access to the vehicle. There's also a physical key location here on the driver's side only. Here's the inside of the passenger side door, and a lot of styling going on here. It has a little bit of metallic accent here, and then this area right in here kind of looks like a, I guess, a simulated wood grain, like ebony type wood is what it's going for, I suppose. And then this is cloth, so this is a gray cloth right in here. This is soft touch for your armrest. Has some stitching right in here. This upper portion, it feels like a Nerf football, like a much harder Nerf football, but it is soft to the touch. That's soft, that's soft, that's soft. The rest of the door is a hard touch plastic. Now this, you can see this pocket right down here. This is open all the way to that pocket, so you can put something in there if you need to, like so. That comes in handy sometimes. Then you have this real large door pocket here at the bottom. It widens open, larger right in here, and that, you know, good place to put some stuff that's readily accessible without getting inside the vehicle. You just open the door and you grab your stuff. So you can see how the door swings out. A large opening here, just overall very large opening, and the door swinging out wide helps out with getting it in and out of the truck. Now, of course, you can add some side steps if you'd like. Under the seat is your jack for your spare tire, as indicated here by this little emblem there. There's your threshold, just nothing fancy as far as seal plates or anything, just a durable plastic. But it does have some really fancy all-weather mats, slush mats that snap in place with these big snaps. And look at the coverage. You have coverage back here and all the really high there on the sides. Just really nice, a lot of legroom as well. But you notice it does taper quite a bit there on the left side, but it is definitely adequate. The center hump is massive. And the seats are cloth seats with a black outer portion here, and then the gray on the inside. Has a little bit of stitching going on. But overall, functional seats with not a lot of fanciness to them. They do look good, and they're very comfortable. Ram does a really good job with their seats, in my opinion. Now, there's also a locking glove compartment. This is all right in here is hard touch. Here, even the dash is all hard touch surfaces, and right in there as well. But it has a locking glove compartment. Has a soft landing coming down. It's a smooth plastic on the inside, and kind of small on the glove compartment side as far as this one, but you do have a secondary glove compartment here, and look at that. That's nice and roomy, and you can put stuff in here as a flat floor in the bottom, and you know, so that's really handy to have a second location. So you separate it and not have everything piled up in one spot. Now you notice all the doors have a handle to get in and out of the vehicle. Including the driver's side. Some manufacturers rely on the steering wheel to be used as a handle instead of the actual handle, but Ram puts a handle there as well. So there's this large center console here, this lifts up and there's a place for a center seat, which I'll get into when we get on the other side. Transitioning here to the back door, you notice the back door swings out. Seems a little wider swing for the back door, so you can get in a little bit better. And also you can use this area for cargo space, and I'll show you that in just a second. But it does have a much narrower opening, so having the door swing out a little wider helps out with getting in the vehicle. So the inside of the back door, as far as the styling goes, is very similar to the front, except for you have the hard touch surfaces here, here, here. Everything is hard touch. Right in here is a little bit softer, but it's just a hard touch door. Now the hard surfaces are very durable and easy to clean, so in a work truck or something like that, that could be seen as a plus. And then this is open just like the front, so you can utilize that for tall objects, or you can just utilize that pocket there. So basically you have a bench seat, and it does have an armrest with cup holders here in the center, and you can lift these up. Now the cup holders, you see these little bumps right in here? That's something that you don't see a lot in rear seat cup holders, is a little place to adapt for different size cups. So this is this is nice to have that. Usually there's just a hole there, and then if you put a bottle or something, it wobbles around. So having that, that ability to compress a cup or a bottle for different sizes is really nice. So you can see it's just basically a bench seat, and it does have the latch system for car seats, or ISOFIX, some people call it. Here in the center portion, there is vents for your climbing control, and then there's this nice handy little pocket right in here, and it has a little liner in the bottom to kind of keep things from rattling around if you put like something metal in there. And then you can take it out, clean it, put it back in. Now up here, there's a little hook here on the sides. So if you have a hook here, and there's one up here as well. So if you're hanging clothes, it hangs them on the side of the vehicle. So if you were to hang them here in the back and lay them down, for one thing, they take up passenger space, but also it obstructs your view. So having these here in the back on the sides is a pretty good idea. Now, of course, it obstructs the view of the side window, but not the rear window. There's airbags back here. I don't know if you can notice these bumps here and here. There's some airbags located there. Now the headrests, as far as visibility, these can be flipped down or they can be removed. So depending on your needs, if you have back passengers frequently, you can go ahead and fold this down when you need to. Or if you don't have back passengers frequently, you can take these out and just store them in the vehicle when you need them. Now there's a power sliding rear glass back here as well. Now you notice the back of the seat is quite vertical. You're not reclining anything, and it's actually, I would say it would be kind of uncomfortable over a period of time. So this is not a fully functional back seat as far as like long trips or something. So just keep that in mind as far as the quad cab vehicles. The back seats are limiting, but they do have the ability to be used for cargo. So these seats flip up, okay? But you don't have any latch or anything. You just have to kind of grab a hold of it and lift it up. And they kind of snap in place. And when you lift it up all the way to the top, they snap in place there. So they're secure up or all the way down. But they just don't have any locking latch or anything. Then you have like a little bag holder right in here. And so you can see on the other side, the seat flips up as well. You can see there's some space underneath there. So even with the seats folded down, you can utilize this for, put something long or something underneath the seats when needed. Now you don't want to, it could, depending on what it is, it could roll out. So there's no blocking, anything to block it from rolling out. But once you lift both back seats and you open the door wide, you do have a pretty big floor for cargo space. You can put boxes or whatever you want, and it keeps whatever you put in here secure. So if you were to have something in the back of the truck, it's not secure, but having it in here, it's out of the weather and it's secure. So this is handy to, you know, have as a cargo area as well as a passenger space. You'll notice that this seat's pulled up a little bit, but the driver's seat, you see how that's all the way back. So you can see your legroom is quite limited when you do that. You will have to compromise a little bit on the front seat's legroom in order to accommodate large passengers in the back, adults and stuff. But you notice you can have passenger space and cargo space at the same time. So you can fold up this seat or the other seat, have cargo space added a little bit, and also maintain some passenger space when needed, especially if you have a car seat. So if you have a car seat there and you just leave it there, and you can always flip up this side if you need to. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, it has a shark fin antenna here, but it's just that kind of cheap looking plastic. It's not like it's body colored or anything, or even a gloss or a deep black. But anyways, it does have a third brake light up here and bed illumination that shines down into the bed in the back of the cab. And the tail lights are all powered by standard halogen bulbs for your reverse lights, turn signals, all that kind of stuff. The tailgate is aluminum, and it is, you know, so if you try to stick a magnet to it, like I mentioned before, like the hood, it is it's aluminum. But like I mentioned, the emblems attract a magnet. So all these chrome emblems, even this one right here, you can see that attracts a magnet, but the tailgate does not. Now the tailgate it locks and unlocks with the vehicle, and you can disable that if you need to work out of the bed of your vehicle, so, and keep your vehicle locked. So if you don't want to have that feature, that can be disabled. And there's a backup camera right here in the very center, up high, and this is just the perfect location, I think, for a backup camera on a truck, because it's directly over the center of the vehicle. And where's the center of what's in the center? And that's your towing hitch. So you can see not only your towing hitch being in a high position, you see all the way around it as well. So the backup camera being in the very center and in a high position on pretty much all vehicles seems to be the best. Also, it's very well integrated. You notice it doesn't look tacked on. It's designed in the vehicle. You see some vehicles have a backup camera where it's like, you know, just tacked on somewhere, and it just looks out of place, or it looks aftermarket, that kind of stuff. But really well integrated, and it functions well. So that's all good. Now, speaking of your towing hitch, you do have a 4- and 7-way outlet, and they're covered up right here. And you notice they're above the bumper, so it keeps them cleaner. You can easily get to them being in this location. Having them down under here somewhere is a little bit of a pain, and they get all dirty. So that's nice, really nice location in my opinion. So you can see it has the dual exhaust, letting the HEMI 5.7 liter breathe. So when you lower the tailgate, there's basically just like a little button under here. So it's electrically controlled. So you push that, and it releases it, and then it has a soft landing. So as you let it go, it'll just slowly go to the bottom. So it's not going to slam down on you, which is nice. And it's not that heavy because it's aluminum, and it's just designed well as far as the, I don't know, if it's assisted. Now, even in the previous Rams, when they're not assisted, it just feels like a lighter, you know, even if it's a big tailgate, it just feels lighter and easier to manipulate than, you know, some other tailgates. Okay, so you can see there's no bed liner, so you can get an idea of what it looks like in here without any kind of spray-in bed liner or plastic bed liner. It's just straight paint, and that's becoming more rare nowadays. Usually there's some kind of, you know, spray-in or some kind of covering, which makes sense, because if you start sliding stuff in here, it's going to scratch the paint and you're going to have issues. Now there is tie downs, fixed location tie downs here and there in the front. So there's one, you can see it a little bit better there and there in the front. In that shadow, There's a little tie down. Those are fixed locations. The length of the bed comes out to 6 foot 4 inches. So right at 76 inches to the end of the bed. Now when you lower the tailgate, it's right at 8 foot 4 inches, 100 inches. So nice capable bed. It's not like the big, you can get an 8 foot bed, but this one is this is the standard bed on the Ram 1500. The height is right at 22 inches. The fuel door is here on the driver's side, and you just push this to open it up, and there's no cap. It is a capless design, and you just basically put the nozzle in there, pump gas, and it does have some, seal around the outside here, and there's actually 2 doorways. So if you need to use a gas can, there is underneath the passenger seat where the jack is, there is a little funnel, and you put the funnel in here and it'll go past both of these doors that it needs to get past. That way you can add gas with a gas can. As long as you have the key inside the vehicle, now this is the proximity key part, you put your foot on the brake, hold it, and push this button to start it. So it will sense the key if the key's inside the vehicle. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat, and it's basically the same type of floor mat. It snaps in place just like the passenger side. And there's your accelerator and brake pedal, and these are adjustable, so you have the ability to adjust them there. And then a nice big footrest here on the left side. It's kind of integrated into the floor, but it is, ability to put your foot there, and it is a nice angle as well. Lots of legroom in the Rams, especially here for the driver. A little bit more legroom for the driver than the passenger. Okay, so let's take a look under the hood. The latch is right here in the center, and the latch for the hood is also in the very center. So right in here, just reach in, move it to the left, and you lift up. Doesn't take a lot of energy, and it goes the rest of the way by itself. Holds itself up. You can see it has an insulated portion under the hood, and it's aluminum hood like I mentioned before, and there's a seal across the front and the back, and this helps out with airflow but also noise. So here's your engine compartment. Your battery is insulated here on the right side. It's very easy to get to, so that's nice. But you notice that the engine compartment looks like it's half empty, because the engine stops right in here, and this is kind of open space. You do have a fan and your radiator and your louvers for your grill shutters. And so basically what they're doing here is the axle, they're shifting the weight within the 2 axles of the vehicle, so that way it increases stability, and it's just a way of keeping the vehicle stable on the road and all that stuff. It's pretty interesting, the weight distribution in vehicles and how important that is, especially when pulling a trailer. But anyways, we have an insulated firewall as well there in the back. Now it has a plastic cover on the top of the engine, and it's kind of looks like it's sunk in there. You can see a little bit of stuff going on here on this side. There's the valve cover, and then you have your coil packs for individual cylinders. And since it's a HEMI, it actually has 2 spark plugs per cylinder. Now it's a 5.7 liter V8 paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now the 8-speed automatic transmission is made by ZF, and it's used quite a bit. ZF is used in a lot of different manufacturers. It's a really solid, impressive transmission, and just really well done as far as the powertrain in this vehicle. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. You see it has the power door locks, the power windows, and the front two are automatic. One touch down and one touch up. Now I'm going to stop it right there because I want to show you. This is actually laminated glass here on the side. So it has two panes of glass with an acoustic material there in the center, giving it a more solid piece of glass, but also keeping the sound from transferring from the outside to the inside. But this is a laminated piece of glass. So as far as breaking this glass and entering it, or breaking it to get out, or whatever the case may be, as far as an emergency situation, just a regular glass break will shatter the glass, but it still has that. It's kind of like a windshield. There's this lamination in between, so you want to keep that in mind, for safety reasons. All right, so it has your side mirrors are adjusted right here, and you just pick a side and adjust it with that little pad. It does have the power folding capability, so we push that button and they fold in. Push it again and they fold back out. And you notice that the side mirrors, in addition to having, they are heated as well, heated side mirrors, but in addition to having this portion, it has a little blind spot portion as well, which is handy. Now the driver's seat is a little bit different than the passenger. It has a four-way lumbar adjustment and it's a full power seat. The passenger side is a manual adjusted seat. To the left of the steering column here, we saw the adjustable pedal buttons, so we can make these pedals go in and out with these buttons. This is a electronic parking brake, so you can pull it to engage it. It engages the rear wheels. You push the brake and push it down, it will disengage it. Your headlight controls are here, so it has automatic headlights, parking, and then off. This is for your fog lights, and this is for your bed cargo area light, your bed light on the back of the cab. And there's a dimmer switch for your interior gauges and your interior lighting. And it has in addition to the adjustable pedals, it also has a tilt and a telescoping steering column. So in prior generations, the Ram truck just had a tilt steering column, and it relied on the adjustable pedals in order to reach the proper position for the driver. But in this case, we have the adjustable pedals and the telescoping and adjustable steering wheel, in addition, of course, to the adjustable seat. So you have lots of articulation of everything to get the proper seating position for you. Here on the dashboard, right above the touchscreen, is a little quick access storage compartment, and it has I don't know if you can see that, there is a 12-volt power supply. And you notice it has a battery on it. This indicates that this is directly connected to the battery. So if you plug something in here, even when the vehicle's off, it'll still have power to it. So if you need to charge your cell phone or something while you go into the store real fast, you could do that. I'm sitting in the driver's seat checking it out, and I have the seat all the way down and all the way back. And I'm 6 feet tall, and I can actually drive no problem right here. So I could pull it up a little bit, but as far as it being all the way back, that was probably where I would go as far as the seat position. There's only one issue though. My left foot being in this position doesn't take advantage of the angle of this floor, so it's a little bit too far away, so it's just uncomfortable. So I'd have to kind of like, prop my leg up like so or something to be comfortable. So in order to take advantage of that floor position, I think if it had a more dedicated footrest here that's a little bit raised, I think it would have been better. So it's like a conflict between me being too close to the steering wheel, but yet my foot's more comfortable here at the angle, or putting it back where I'm more comfortable just as far as driving and reaching everything and having that lack of footrest, proper angle anyway. So that's something to consider. Now it has lots of knee room and leg room. Other than that, it's just plenty of room here. Now it has a leather wrap steering wheel, and it's very high quality feeling. Soft, has a little bit of a give to it, and just a really impressive steering wheel. Now you notice it's really wide here at the bottom, and then as it goes up, it's more of a normal size. But even at the smallest size, it's still good thickness. So it's not, if it's too thin, then it kind of digs into your bones and your hands. So the thickness, in addition to the softness, just feels really good. So on the steering wheel, you can see there's quite a bit of buttons here, but there's also buttons here on the back. So I don't know if you're familiar with this. If you're not, there is buttons. There's up and down and a center button on both sides. So the idea is that as your hands here driving, your fingers line up with those buttons. So that way you can, in this side particularly, you can adjust the volume for the radio. So I can adjust the volume by going up and down. The center button will cycle through audio sources. So AM, FM, you know, media, different media sources, that kind of thing. The left side on the back, there's up and down, cycles through whether it be your radio stations or your audio tracks, depending on what you're playing. It could be on your Bluetooth phone, or it could be on a USB device, or the radio. The up and down cycles through that. And then the center button is for your presets on your radio only, so you can cycle through those. So a lot of functionality just on the back of the steering wheel. Here on the front is your cruise control, so you can turn it on, set either here or here, resume and cancel. Of course, you can adjust your speeds as well. You can change through and limit your high gear. So this is your gear select here for the 8-speed transmission. On the left side, you have your Bluetooth controls, answer, hang up, and then you have a very advanced voice recognition system. So the Rams have a little bit on the higher end as far as the voice commands. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can adjust the climate control, change the radio station, make calls, that kind of thing. There's lots of stuff. They actually have its own separate manual for the voice recognition system, so that way you can take advantage of all the functionality while keeping your hands on the wheel and eyes on the road. You can do all kinds of stuff. These buttons, this little OK and these arrows, correspond with this little screen between the gauges. We'll get to that in just a minute. Your turn signal and windshield wiper controls are here on the left side. Okay, so here's the gauges, and so this is not the fanciest trim models, okay, but even so, it still looks really good and very functional. You should see the Longhorn and the Limited. I mean, they just take trucks to a new level, in my opinion. Okay, so over here on this side, you see your RPM, your tachometer here, your engine coolant temperature, and then right in here is your voltage for your battery, and then your oil pressure, fuel gauge, and then there's your speedometer. You also have a digital speedometer here in the center, and that's very important to me. I've gotten so spoiled with a digital speedometer now. Outside temperature, which way your vehicle's facing. So in this case, we're facing south, and then there's your engine hours and stuff. So that's just showing because we happen to be there. Now your odometer is here at the bottom as well. So remember these buttons here, the left, right, and I like the way they're kind of raised there on the side. You see they're raised here, and that way you can just kind of feel your way around. You can index the buttons very well. So going to this screen, we can scroll down. And when I scroll down, you can see it's part of this menu system. So the very first one, you see the little number 1 right there, says speedometer. So we have a digital speedometer, nice and big. Scrolling down, vehicle information. Now, in this screen, the number 2, we can, there's little bars there at the bottom, we can scroll to the right and left and get more temperatures and pressures and more information about the vehicle as far as the status. And there's a summary view as well. Even the tire pressure. Scrolling down again, your fuel economy. Now there's 2 of these that you can reset independently. It also shows your range. So if you want to, have a longer run, to keep track of it in like a short trip or a longer, weeks or months or whatever, you could do that. Scrolling down again, you have 2 trips as well. So the trips are nice. You can reset these independently as well. They give you the distance, the average miles per gallon, and the time in which that occurred. So you notice it says 15 miles per gallon. I see a lot of people that they see that and they think that's what the vehicle gets. The whole point of this system is to adapt to your driving habits. So if the vehicle's not driving on the highway and we're just sitting in the parking lot, this average is going to plummet. It's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. So as we're sitting here, it's adapting to my driving habit, which is not driving at all. So this is not an accurate reflection of what the vehicle gets, and I explained this quite a bit, but I just wanted to touch upon that again, because I still get these comments regularly that this is a new vehicle, it hasn't even been on the road yet. So the average miles per gallon is not going to be the true when you actually drive the vehicle and you in use miles per gallon. Okay, so scrolling down, this just shows you what your radio is doing, and you see where you have a number 5 there. And you notice even when we're on these other screens, we always have that digital speedometer at the top. It's just smaller. Scrolling down again will be stored messages. Now it'll pop up sometimes and say, hey, it's time to change the oil, or whatever the case may be, and then that message will go away. And if you want to see those messages, you can go to here in case you missed it. Scrolling down again, you have screen setup. So this is where you can go in and you can change these things. So the outside temperature, the upper left, upper right, the default gear, view, so it'll show what gear you're in. So right now we're in park. Your odometer, we should take that away if we want. And then we can have the center part. So the center part, we can have a digital speedometer or no digital speedometer, or we can have a compass, outside temperature there, range to empty, average economy, current fuel economy, trip distance, audio information, menu title, or we can have the digital speedometer, which that's what I recommend, having a digital speedometer. All right. And then scroll down again, we go back to number 1, and the large digital speedometer is now displayed. So it's real easy to kind of navigate through that. You don't need to go into all that if you don't want to. It's just there in case you need it. Okay, so here's the screen. So you saw the little screen there. This is the big touch screen. And the Uconnect system is really easy to use. So you have icons here at the bottom. And right now we're starting off with audio. So we have XM radio selected. We have AM, FM as well. Your presets are there at the very top. And it shows a clock. It's kind of a small clock though. And an outside temperature there. So basically, we could have these shortcut buttons and everything, and we can adjust the audio and all that stuff. We could tune directly to a particular station. This is helpful, especially for satellite radio. And we have album art and everything there in the center. The next one is media. So there's no media right now, but examples of media would be USB device. There's 2 of them available. Auxiliary input. You also have Bluetooth. So these are the different ways you can play music or audio through the system. The next one will be phone. There's no phone paired right now, but once you pair a phone, you'll have access to your phone book, recent calls, your phone book, recent calls. You can dial out. You can send and receive messages using your voice, and it'll actually read it to you. You can redial people. Also have your favorites here at the top, like frequently call people, that kind of thing. You can always transfer it back to your cell phone if you want to have a private call. The next one will be apps. This kind of has some different applications. So if you want to look at your backup camera, you can do that without even putting it in reverse. You can also zoom in directly to where you're backing up to a trailer or something, or you can zoom out and get the big picture. There's also active guidelines here. So as I turn the steering wheel, it's going to give us an estimated trajectory of the vehicle as it's backing up. You can have a compass right here, which is nice. The rear view mirror is an auto dim rear view mirror. You can turn that on or off here, that feature. And so audio settings. So there's kind of some quick shortcuts, and then your settings are right here. And this is, you know, you want to set all this stuff up when you first get it, and then that way, you know, like if you don't want it to beep when you lock the doors, that kind of thing, or how long you want the lights to stay on when you lock the vehicle and walk away, that kind of stuff. And then controls. So this is basically just, in this particular case, it's just the backup camera, the mirror, and the settings here. Now, if you had heated seats or something like that, it would show up on here as well. Now, if you're in your apps and you want to change that controls there to the backup camera, we can grab that and we can move it down here. So now that's there instead. So it's customizable, the screen. All right, so that's kind of a quick run through of the screen and what it does. And it has a traditional volume, tune through the stations. You can mute the radio anytime, or you can turn the screen off if you want. You can just tap it to turn it back on. Four-way flashers are here in the middle. Now it's easy to push that button, so if you're playing around with the radio, it's really easy to push the four-way flashers. The climate control is here, and so basically if you want just a standard kind of retro climate control, this is it. You have the fan speed, the temperature, and where you want the air to blow. You have the rear defroster there, recirculate the air, and turn the air conditioner on and off. And that's about it. There's no automatic function, there's no dual zone. It is a, you know, just a very basic, simple climate control system that works well and easy to use, but it is, you know, it is not feature rich as other vehicles, basically. Okay, so here is your shifter. I know it doesn't look like a shifter, but it is. It's a, it's just a dial. And so basically, when you put your foot on the brake, we can put it in reverse like that, and then the backup camera pops up, which we saw. And the clarity and everything of the screen and also the camera system is fantastic. The colors look vivid, and you can just really have good visibility and all that stuff. Then there's neutral, and then there's drive. So it's just that simple. And if you need to shift down, you can use here. You can use these buttons here to shift down if you're going down a hill or whatever. Now, if you were to accidentally turn this while driving, it will not let you get past neutral. You would have to, you know, hold the brake in order to get into reverse. So your four-wheel drive controls are here. So it has, right now it's indicating that it's in two-wheel drive, and you have two-wheel drive auto. So this would be for, you just kind of automatically engage it. Four-wheel drive high, and then four-wheel drive low. So depending on your needs. And then the neutral here is for flat towing. Okay, so we have a couple buttons here, tow and haul, and just letting the vehicle know that you're towing something, and then traction control. If you need to spin tires for whatever reason, you will need to disable this. With that on, the default is on, it will not allow you to spin tires. It keeps you straight in the road is the intention of the traction control. Okay, so down here is your auxiliary input. Now it has, you notice it has a, there's two different types. There's two USB ports, and each one, top and bottom, have a USB-C and a standard USB input. So you have those both options there. And this opens up, and there's a nice little tray right here. You can put some coins in there in the front, and just a wide open spot to put stuff. And there's like a rubberized portion at the bottom in which you can take out and clean and put it back in. So that's nice. Okay, so this big armrest is huge. Okay, you could share this with your passenger without any confrontation, and it's nice and soft, super soft, really nice, impressive. Cup holders are here, and it does have little bumps there so you can accommodate for different size cups. And you see it goes in there quite a ways, and then it's open there on the side. That accommodates for handles, or you can utilize the space for more than just cups if you want to. Put your cell phone or whatever in there as well. Now this part lifts up, and it's kind of spring-loaded so it doesn't slam back down on you. And you have a little storage area, right? Okay, so this is pretty neat. So right in here you have a place to put a pin or a tire gauge here and here. That would be a pin for me. You also have this little spot for wires to go in and out of this compartment. So if you need to plug something in or whatever the case may be, you can have wires go in and out of this compartment. You can also utilize this little space right here to prop up a cell phone or whatever, so you could utilize that as well. So right in here, you can see there's a USB drive. There's a USB input. That's a charge port. Now, that's the reason for the cable there. In other trim levels, you know, there may be other things that you can plug stuff into, but so that's kind of handy. And also has little keepers right here. So it keeps the wire from moving around on you, and it keeps it out of the way and doesn't pinch it when you slam this down. Okay, so this whole thing lifts up. If you need a center passenger, no problem. You could do it. So right in here, this is a seat. Now that is up out of the way. And this does not recline, the center part. So this is the release right here for pulling it down the strap. And it does not recline, so it's not like super comfortable center seat, but it is a center seat. This actually lifts up as well, and you have more storage compartment under here, and you have little storage compartments here for putting stuff. That's kind of a quick access spot for stuff, and it goes in there. This is just a just hard plastic in here. And this comes down and latches, so it's secure. Okay, so here's the rearview mirror, and it's an auto dim rearview mirror. And on the screen, I showed you how you can turn that on, or that feature on or off. It's a place for sunglasses or safety glasses right in here, and it's a felt lined interior. You have these lights right here. These are kind of standard bulbs. You can turn them on or off. You can turn on all the interior lights by pushing it like that, turn them all off, or have it in the center position to turn on with the door. So as the door opens, it turns that on as well. There's a little ambient light right in here, so it kind of illuminates the center of the vehicle, and when it's super dark, you still have a little bit of light there. This is for your sliding rear glass, this button right here. So the headliner is a cloth material. Same thing with the visors. This is like a cloth, has a little clip right there, so you can put something, your registration or whatever. And then it has lights and a mirror here for the driver and passenger. Home link garage door opener controls here on the other side, as well as another clip. And the one on the passenger is very similar, except for it doesn't have the home link. Okay, so looking at the visibility. First of all, this center seat gets in the way as far as visibility a little bit, but there you go. Now I have one headrest down and one headrest up. Now I mentioned that you can take those headrests out. You can, but they're not easy to take out. It's not like you just slide them out. So having the ability to, lower them like that is fantastic. It does add to your visibility. Now of course the backup camera helps out a lot as well. The camera system is great. All right, so before you go, you gotta look at the window sticker here. This helps out with, with buying vehicles, is taking a look at different window stickers so you can see what's available and all that stuff. So in this case, it's the Ram 1500 Bighorn quad cab, which is the small one, 4x4. You can also get a regular cab, which I guess technically that's the smallest one, but okay, so it starts off here with the base price, and it shows you the color, interior and exterior colors, what kind of engine and transmission it has, and then it starts here with the standard equipment, and it goes through here. Interior features, still on standard equipment, and exterior features, and that continues on to the next column, and this is where you get to the optional equipment. So this is actually additional things that you have to pay for if you add them to this particular trim package. And you see the prices there. There's also a destination charge, and then there's a total price here. This is the MSRP, manufacturer suggested retail price. And there's the VIN number and information. There's the dealer it was sent to. So if you buy a new vehicle and the dealership has a different dealer here on the window sticker than the one you bought it from, and it's new, that means that it was traded from another dealership to that dealership. So it has been driven a little bit. So over here is your fuel economy information there, and then your safety ratings. And this shows you where the vehicle is made. So 58% US and Canadian content, and then Mexico 32%. So you can see that the engine's Mexico, transmission's United States. Now, from what I understand, some of the engines are made in the United States as well, but some are made in Mexico. So depending on the vehicle, you might have one that has a higher USA content. This one in particular has a Mexican-made engine. All right, and I'll try to have this information in the description as well. Okay, so thank you for watching, and thank you to Vann, Underwood, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram here in Whiteville, North Carolina, and I'll see you guys next time.